Rob, obviously the big news is Luke Cowan-Dickies. Just bring us up to speed on where we are with him and how long we're likely to be without Luke.
Well, obviously the good news is he doesn't require an operation. It's an ankle ligament injury. But obviously the bad news is we will keep him out for the duration of the autumn internationals. We're hopeful if recovery goes well and on time, and rehab, as I say, it stays on schedule. It's a 6 to 8 week injury. So there's a good chance we'll have him back for the European Cup.
In a quirky way, you were probably expecting him this week, but then gone for the Autumn Nations. So it's not that big a blow in terms of personnel here at the club, but for him personally, missing out for England as he's got into a great position.
Yeah, very much so. We'll, like I say, if his rehab goes well, we'll probably miss him for, this Premiership game, and then he would have gone away for England, and maybe one Premiership game when he would have maybe been fit to get back, but he may have had one of those as a rest period anyway, because obviously we had an expectation of him being fully involved for this autumn period and the training period beforehand. So for us, it's probably, as long as he does come back fit, it's probably less of a blow than it is for him personally, and it is obviously for England. So really at this stage, the feelings go out to him. The guy who's established himself as the number one hooker in England, starting British Lions hooker in 2 of the tests, a leadership role within the England camp now, and I know he's very disappointed to have worked so hard to achieve that, and then obviously pick up this injury at kind of just about the worst time. So it is annoying for him, but obviously what we've got to do as a club now is get behind him, do what we'll always do, throw everything we can at him medically for him to have the best rehab and make sure that he's up and flying for the Six Nations.
You talk often about players maturing. Are you seeing that with certain guys? You talk about Luke there, you talk about Johnny Hill, even Sam Simmons, that experience of going test level, that next level up, is it coming through, and is it going to be a huge benefit down the line?
You always like to think so. There's stages of it as they go through international rugby. I think sometimes the first time they get called up can cause a bit of a wobble. The first time they get back often causes a bit of a wobble. But it's the kind of 2 or 3 experiences of it that probably start to count. And as you say, we're starting to see that with more and more of our guys now. So, as I've said, I think Johnny Hill deserves a great deal of credit how he's performed since he came back from the Lions, as does Sam Simmons. Stuart Hogg looks almost like a reinvigorated player compared to the end of last season. Those guys, they've really made really big decisions about how they want to come in and perform. And I've got to give them great credit for that. And Luke went into it in fantastic form and was maintaining that, albeit him coming back with a bit of an injury that he had to get dealt with. So he's probably the guy I feel most sorry for now. All the other guys have got themselves up and running and are playing well on great form. Have all been called in by their countries. Our Lions guys, Stuart Hogg's been called in by Scotland, as has Sam Skinner. Our 3 other Lions guys are all going in with England. You feel a bit sorry for Luke, but if there's one thing the guy's done, he's dealt with injuries. The guys who chuck themselves about the most tend to be the guys who get themselves injured the most, and he's dealt with it very well before. And I've no doubt that he can certainly get his head around being in a great condition for the European Games, which will put him then in the pole position for going back in the Six Nations.